So we've got a set of bumpers here that keep blowing the fuse on the circuit board. Can you see in there how it's exploded? I have a pretty good feeling I know what's wrong with the motor, but we got to get it out there and on the workbench first. We got a new motor coming in, so this is going to be fun. Happy Monday. Gutter section's out. We're going to have to remove the snap ring there, probably the timing switch cover. We need some more light too. It's a little dark down there. You guys are sitting in the underground track. I'm gonna try and take this out real quick. I'm gonna do our E-clip on the top of our bumper actuator arm. Take our snap ring off here, flat washer, lift the bumper rail up and the actuator arm comes off. Bevel gear, or pinion gear, pardon me. Pinion gear has a snap ring as well. Come on. Okay. Don't lose the Woodruff key. Oh, I dropped it and it went under the track. Now, let's see if I can. Got it. Got it. Ooh, that was a close one. I don't remember if these are. Yep, 3/8. All right. Switch plates coming off. Oh, timeout. We have to take the cam gear off too. No, the baby screwdriver's not gonna work. Just screw head hidden under the gear. Feels like it had Loctite in it. Ooh, all right. Set that aside. There we go. We needed to get to that one. So these lower 3 screws are coming out first. Take our switch plate out. Okay. Oh, now the fun part. You see my finger? There's a bevel gear right here. The opposite side of that gearbox has an output shaft as well. There's a shaft coupler that extends to the other side of the lane. There's another actuator arm and another pinion gear. I'm going to do this by removing the shaft coupler. The problem is I can't see it. I can only feel it. Yeah, and it's in a very awkward position. Oh, okay. There are 4 Allen head screws here. Yep. So we're going to loosen these 4 screws. Easier said than done. There's 1. Come on. Oh, almost had it. Awkward silence. There's 2 coming out. Okay, let's find 3. Well, that one was number 4, but I don't really care. It's loose now. There's 3. Almost. Boy, that one's really tight. A little more. Gotta reset. Only got so much swing room here. Can't see what I'm doing. Can only go by feel. Okay. Shaft coupler is loose. There's our shaft coupler. Now we should be able to remove this last screw here and drop our motor out. Got cobwebs down here. No one's been here for a while. That's good, right? Reliable bumper systems. Boing. Alright. Motor's out. I got some zip ties to cut. This is a good place to pause and then we'll pick it up a little bit later. So we got everything back together, except for the timing gear and the shaft collar. But I wanted to take a minute and just kind of go over a couple of tips that I've found helpful. I don't have the shaft collar on yet, but everything is pretty much back together. I don't have the E-clip up here yet. I'm just using the bumper rail to hold everything in place. So timing between the left rail and the right rail is going to stay pretty much intact without shifting. Okay, so shaft coupler's on. Next step is going to be getting our cam gear back in. So we're in the up position, so this section needs to push that switch in the up position. Right there, I think. Yeah. Well, let's try it.
Did you replace all the leather?
Yes, sir. So that looks good. Up, let's bring it down. Watch your fingers. Down switch is here. Technically 1 tooth off from factory time. That little hole right there should line up with the plunger, but I don't really care. We're looking for function, so let's check. Alright, motor, plug it in. Up and down switches were never disconnected. Power, power, power. Here. We're going to run this thing up and down. Okay, push button going up. We're still locked out on emergency bumpers, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, let's go reset. Oh, and we still have a bad fuse in the board. Time out. Alright, we got a new fuse in the board. We've got everything plugged back in. We're going to use the push button right here on the bumper box to run it up and down. Look pretty good. You're gonna go down and up. All right, confirmed repair. Let's put it back together. We had to take a little break to be a locksmith real quick. All right, back to our bumper motor. So we've got the 2 screws removed for there. We're gonna undo the wire nuts, and then we're gonna pull the stator off. All right, we got our stator screws out. Let's go ahead and start taking this apart. Oh, forgot a ground wire here. So what I think happened is one of the pins in here has shifted. Yep, I see it right now. Check this out. I'll bring you in a little closer. Without crushing everything. Let's look at this a little closely. This pin has shifted out of position, and I bet if we look inside here, whoa, avalanche. Yep, there it is. It met an untimely death. That pin contacted a coil and created a short circuit. I don't know if this coil's good or not. I'm gonna err on the side of caution, and we're going to abandon this coil because it looks pretty damaged. You know what? We'll probably just junk the whole thing. So let's brush aside our coil. We may... No, we're not saving that. We can save the start cap, right? The capacitor might be good still. Yeah. So what I would recommend, pardon me, if the coil was in better shape, what I would do typically with this type of thing would be try and punch that pin down. Let me grab a punch here and a hammer. So basically we just tap it back in place, shift it back down into position, right? And then if you take a chisel or a metal chisel, not a wood chisel, and peen the end over, so that way the shaft can't walk itself back out in the future. What we ended up doing here is we replaced the fuse, and then it blew again, and we replaced the fuse and it blew again. And then it happened on a Saturday afternoon, full house, busy, not a good time to take down a pair of lanes and change out a bumper motor. So we put another fuse in there and found it blown again this morning. So, you know, did we make it work? Yeah, for a while. This gearbox is still good. Maybe we'll hold on to the gearbox. Maybe I'll just do that. I'll peen the end of that, and we'll save this. We'll throw the coil out, but save the capacitor. Maybe we'll make up some guts, spare parts for future use. I don't have any chisels here, so what do we do? Let's get maybe a smaller... You know what? We have these junky flathead screwdrivers that were, they're still kicking around, but this will work. You know, not my most ideal thing, but just kind of knurl it in, peen it over, and that way the that shaft isn't going to pop out again, right? So, cool. We got a spare gearbox and capacitor. Awesome.